Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariah and I talk about books and bookish things on my channel. If you're returning, thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're here. Today is the first day of my new TBR game and I'm so excited. So, a brief thing, I've been playing a lot of Betrayal, and specifically Betrayal Legacy, which is a horror exploration game where your characters go through and they try to solve this mystery, all while staying alive and maintaining all of their things. So I was really inspired by this and I just couldn't find a way to make it work the way the game was originally set up. So instead what I did was created a map in Roll20, which we will see in a minute, and I will give you the backstory. Now, with that in mind, this video will also have my TBR, my read-along, the Tamora read-along, the Les Mis read-along that I'm doing over on my blog, which is always linked down below, as well as the Buzzword-a-thon, and Jeff at Dread and Reddit's book for her book club, which the announcement video isn't out yet. So as soon as it is, I will link it up in the cards for you. The backstory of my little Betrayal game is quite simple. In a small town known as Grey Falls, there's a large library that was once the manor of a powerful couple. Now, there have always been some rumors that the manor is haunted, but what it comes down to, and if you ask the librarians, just don't stay after dark and you should be fine. Each month I will dress as a character and give a theme, and I will introduce that at the beginning. So let's get started. I'm a children's illustrator. That's my job. I love what I do. I love the fact that I get to wear bows in my hair and wear beautiful makeup and wear floofy blouses all I want. And I grew up in Grey Falls. It shouldn't be that big of a deal to stay a little after closing in the library. I worked it out with one of the librarians who I went to school with. She wasn't thrilled about the idea though, and I'm beginning to understand why. As I walked into the library and I settled down and I started sketching out the ideas for my newest children's book, I was confronted by a laugh. As a huge fan of books myself and as a children's illustrator, I wasn't expecting to turn around and see the beldam, or the other mother from Coraline. She offered me an easy way. All I had to do was accept her offer and that would be it. But there were also 3 children that I grew up with who went missing, and their ghosts came after her, and they begged me for help. And I just couldn't say no to that. I have to find their eyes in this giant maze of a manor, and I have to get out of here before the beldam finds a way to keep me. Wish me luck. To defeat the beldam, I have to read 3 middle grade horror books, 1 middle grade horror per child that I am trying to save. The books are Coraline by Neil Gaiman, obviously. This is the Chris Riedel illustrated edition, and it is, I love Chris Riedel's illustrations. They're so fun and they're just stunning. The other book is Small Spaces by Catherine Arden. This is a, Catherine Arden also wrote the Bear and the Nightingale series, which is a adult fantasy series. It's about a girl named Ollie who comes across this woman who's weeping and disheveled, and she is getting ready to throw away a book. Ollie takes the book and she runs. This book is called Small Spaces, and it's about a girl, the 2 boys who loved her, and the peculiar deal that was struck with a being known as the Smiling Man, who will grant the deepest wish, but for the ultimate price. Ollie goes on a field trip with her class the next day to a farm, and things start going very, very, very oddly. On the way home, the school bus breaks down and Ollie's teacher leaves, and it leaves them with the bus driver, who says, "Don't worry, someone or something will soon come to get you." As soon as she looks down at her digital watch, all she sees is a message that says, "Run." And as night descends and the scarecrows in the surrounding fields seem to start crowding in closer, Ollie and two of her classmates take to the woods with one last word of advice from the bus driver ringing in her ears: avoid large places at night. Keep to small. And with that, and that's this story. R.L. Stine said that this was terrifying and fun. There's a blurb from him on the back. I love R.L. Stine just like any, I guess, 90s kid. So I'm really excited to read this. Finally, I'm going to read The Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste, which is... So The Jumbies is about a girl named Corinne Lemaire who isn't scared of anything, especially not the Jumbies, which she says that they are tricksters that were made up to scare children, until one night she chases an agouti all the way to the Forbidden Forest, and when she comes back she sees a remarkable beauty in the marketplace talking to the town witch. Then she goes home and finds that same beauty, Severine, cooking dinner for her father. Corinne knows that this is bad news, and so she goes off on an adventure to stop Severine from claiming the entire island for the Jumbies. This is part Grimm fairy tales, but with Haitian fairy tales, based off the Haitian fairy tale The Magic Orange Tree. I'm really looking forward to this. Ashley over at The Bookish Realm talked about this book a lot and loved it. I am really looking forward to reading this. I've been last year in 2020 I was introduced to Caribbean folklore through Nalo Hopkinson's work, and I am super excited to keep delving into that on the middle grade. And that will be the 3 books I have to complete by the end of the month, otherwise the beldam gets my eyes.
So first we're gonna head this way, and I want to head this way. So we're in the children's room, and we see the little jumping mice. You know you're alone in the library. The librarian warned you that after dark things get a little odd. At first you think someone left a record going. As you get closer to the children's room, you realize that things aren't quite what they seem. Collect the first eye and roll. You can't track down the sound and get lost in the stacks. Add another book to the total TBR and pick 2 from your TBR jar.
So I didn't roll very well in that first one, and I had to add 2 books. So those books are from my TBR jar, Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell-Preto. This is the Owl Crate edition with the purple sprayed edges, the alternate cover, and the letter from the author. This is a rather large, almost 500 pages for a little over, $4.50. This book centers on Veronica, a war orphan who dreams of becoming a member of the Phoenix Riders, a elite legendary warriors who rode through the skies on the back of phoenixes. And one day her sister reveals something to her, and Veronica takes off on her own to find the riders and join their ranks. At the same time that this is happening, right when Veronica finally feels like she's okay, her sister shows up and she reveals a tangled web of lies. All at the time that a new empire finds out the Phoenix Riders are coming back, and is set out to destroy them. I am really excited for this book. It's been on my shelf for a while. It's one of my Owl Crate books. The second thing that I pulled out of my TBR jar was Anansi Boys by Neil Gaiman. This is the sequel, companion book, I would say, to the great book American Gods. This cover is the W. Morrow, I guess, retro covers. This was illustrated by Robert McGinnis, I am obsessed with these covers. I have every single one of these covers that I can come across, which is American Gods, Stardust, Neverwhere, Smoke and Mirrors, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and of course, Anansi Boys. Now, if you're not familiar with the American Gods universe, in this universe, when the immigrants came over to America from all over the world, and the slaves as well, they brought over their gods, the old gods, with them, and the old gods have morphed to kind of deal with the modern world. At the same time, modern technology and modern ways of living have created new gods who will stop at nothing to destroy the old ways. This causes a big conflict, which is that the world in American Gods takes place in. This is an offshoot of that, where it tells the story of a man named Fat Charlie Nancy, who didn't know that his father was a god, and he didn't know he had a brother. And then one day, his brother shows up on his door when his father dies in a Florida karaoke stage. Brother Spider is on his doorstep now and is out to make Fat Charlie's life more interesting and a lot more dangerous. This is focusing on the god Anansi and his children in the American Gods universe. I love Neil Gaiman's writing. The fact that I'm reading 2 Neil Gaimans this month makes me very happy.
So that gives us the first eye that we need. Now let's head back out this way. And up here. Just take a seat here. You lean back in your chair, stretching your back and your drawing hand. This new book is giving you so much trouble. Suddenly a small mouse in a little jacket perches on the opposite table. It seems to be holding a little key. Let's roll our 2d6. 7. The mouse reaches its little arms out and gives you the key with a little squeak. It's shaped like a book. Find the hidden room. The secret room. The key the mouse gave you leads to a secret room with a cozy wingback chair and a fire roaring in the fireplace. It feels comfortable and cozy here. Relax and enjoy your TBR. Pick an item. So these are really useful. I'm going to pick library card, which allows me to replace any book on my TBR. So you thought you lost this years ago, but here it is with your childish signature. Replace any book on your TBR. Discard when used. Alright, and here we are, so we're going to leave there. Found the secret room. We found the secret room. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. We got nothing added to our list. Alright, let's go in here to the staff room. Rooting through a stack of old magazines, you find a shoebox. Opening up, you find a small doll that looks just like you when you were a child with black button eyes. It's even wearing your favorite outfit. How strange. Underneath it, you see the sweet ghost girl's eye. We got a 4. You prick your finger on the needle embedded in the doll and drop the doll. Pick the lowest rated book on Scribd.
Next, I got the lowest rated on Scribd, and for me, that was Metal Skeleton. This is a story about set in South America that puts an anthropologist from the University of Lima and a Lima-based police officer on a collision course where they are investigating the disappearances of a group of people, and that leads them to an artificial island. It's a novella. It's about 130 pages, an hour-long audiobook. That's really all there is to say about that.
You swear you hear a sewing machine, which is insane. This is a library. Until you round the corner and there's a sewing machine on one of the tables and a brand new book pouch sitting next to it. You hear her voice saying sweetly, "It's for you, my dear. All you have to do is give up." "10. You shake your head, turn up your music, and turn around. As much as you want it, nothing is worth giving up. Pick a book with a bargain in it and get an item. And I'm going to pick up that snack now. And the snack item. Digging through your bag, you find a protein bar and some chocolate-covered espresso beans. Score! Pick a book you can read in one sitting. And with the items, I can reuse them at any time.
Next is a book with a bargain in it. I could have chosen a lot of books. I could have chosen a book with a fey bargain. I could have chosen a book with a bargain with a witch. I could have chosen a book with any sort of bargain in it. This one was very ambiguous for a reason. But I instead chose one of my 21 books from 2021, which I'll link the video. And that was Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Boyfriend Material tells the story of Luke O'Donnell, who is reluctantly famous. He is the child of two rock stars who famously split, and he has been hounded by paparazzi for his whole life because of it. When his dad is making a comeback, Luke is back in the public eye, and there's a compromising photo out there, so he decides to make a bargain with the rather boring Oliver Blackwood. Now, Oliver Blackwood is a barrister, which is, I believe his fancy is a lawyer in American, and a vegetarian, and they strike a bargain to where Oliver will be Luke's fake boyfriend. This is set in the UK. It has a bargain in it, and it was lent to me by my friend Mason. So thank you for that. The last book he lent me, or one of the other books he lent me, was Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I surprisingly loved. So I'm really looking forward to keep reading outside of my comfort zone.
Let's head towards the teen room now. As you stand in the stacks, you swear you hear someone humming, so sweet yet hauntingly sad. You feel drawn to finding whoever it is and comforting them. Walking to the room, you see the last eye tucked into a small nook. You shake yourself out of it, push your headphones farther in your ears, and focus on getting out of here. Pick a book with music in it and grab the last eye. It's time to make your escape.
The final book that I drew was a book with music in it, and I chose Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. If I'm saying that any of these names wrong, please correct me. This is the Alcott edition, so it has no dust jacket. It's just an inlaid cover with the words on the back. This is Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge meets The Night Circus. I've never read The Night Circus. It's on my list eventually. But what I ended up, I've heard nothing but good things about this. This actually fits 2 prompts. This also fits the Buzzwordathon prompt for January, which is a book with the word dream in it, and that's over at Books and Lala, Kayla's channel. And I don't really need to know a whole lot about this because I love Phantom of the Opera. And I love Moulin Rouge. Like I said, this comes with, it also came with a letter from the author, and it says, "Enter Kalia, my powerful, ambitious, fiery showgirl. She became the star of the show from the moment I first envisioned a brown girl who could rain fire upon the world, descending from a chandelier. Fueled by dreams of her own, she would do anything to prove she's the best magician out there, no matter what. And I was determined to give her that stage in Where Dreams Descend, a story woven with ambition, power, illusion, love, and lies. It's got circuses that conquer, and a city built with secrets, tricky mirrors that can't be trusted, and a doomed show that must go on. It's a book born from my love of grand theatrical romantic stories and my dream of seeing the Kalias of the world at the center of them." Beautiful end pages, and it is signed by the author. Like I said, this book fits 2 prompts and sounds dramatic and colorful and rich, and I cannot wait to see how she combined those two things. Now that that is all wrapped up, we can move on to the readathons. Like I said, Where Dreams Descend takes care of the Buzzwordathon, Buzzword Readalong? I'm not sure what, I'll correct it. The Buzzwordathon down prompt for dreams, which is January's prompt. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really happy that I found a book that I didn't have to add more to my TBR for. Additionally, I'm going to be reading the first book in the Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce, Alana, the First Adventure. This tells the story of Alana, who wants to be a knight, and her twin brother Thom, who wants to be a sorcerer, and their father decides that's not how it's going to work. Alana's going to go off to the convent to learn how to be a lady, and Thom is going to go off to learn how to be a knight. Well, about that. Alana disguises herself as a boy and rides off to the Knights Academy at the capital. This is a fantastic series. It's one of my favorite series of all time. It was one of the foundational series for me as a human being. And I'm just so excited to begin this read along. If you're interested, it's all down below. And the live show for that will be Sunday, January 31st. Additionally, I am hosting a read-along for Les Mis by Victor Hugo over on my blog. And this month I'm going to be reading the first 100 pages or so. I will be reading Volume 1, which is Fantine books, the first book through the third book, which is the first 132 pages. This book terrifies me, but I'm excited to get started and have it not staring at me so hard. This is the Word Cloud covers, which is the embossed faux leather. I love these covers. I love the way they look on my shelf. I have a bunch of them. I'm really looking forward to getting this one started and actually get it rolling. That would be nice. This month I am also taking part in Jeff at Dread and Reddit's book club, Nougats and Novels. And we are starting for the month of January with the Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. Rothstein. And it is a nonfiction book about how the government segregated America by changing laws, and how the governments, both federal, state, and local governments, all created these zones that were racially segregated, and that continues to this day and leads to things such as gentrification. I am also carrying over 2 books from the month of December that I had started and was a good way into by the time January 1st rolled around, and that's The Aeronauts Windlass by Jim Butcher. This is the first in a series. I'm absolutely adoring it so far. I have, I think, 8 hours left in the audiobook. I have 3.5 hours left on the audiobook, which is awesome because that means I've listened to 18 hours of said audiobook. And I love it. I absolutely adore it. I also will be carrying over Slavery by Another Name by the re-enslavement of Black Americans from the Civil War to World War I. This is a very heavy book, but it's very important. It talks about the exploitation of a loophole in the 13th Amendment that allowed Black Americans to be re-enslaved by judicial means. This has been really enlightening and also stomach-turning at times. It's trigger warnings for racism, racial slurs. Just, it has a lot of trauma built into it. This is a historical expose by Douglas Blackman. I am breaking it up into smaller chunks throughout the month because it is very, very heavy. With all that in mind, that wraps up my January TBR. Not a lot of books. Like I said, I'm really making a concerted effort to leave myself some room to maneuver from now on. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below. If you are going to read any of these books, please let me know down below. If you haven't checked out Jeff over at Dread and Reddit, please go do it. She's so cool. I love watching her videos. I have seen almost every video, so please go watch her videos. Also, go check out Kayla at Books and Lala if you haven't already. She's fantastic. Her content is great. I wish that I will grow up into her as a YouTuber. Which sounds really nerdy now that I've said it. If you like this concept and this idea and this kind of role-playing, you can check out my character diaries on my blog, which will be published once a week. And of course, everything will be linked down below. All of my socials are down below if you want to find me. I'm not big on Instagram, but I am on Twitter a lot. So if you want to look me up there, that'd be great. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe down below. I'm still working on the map. Hopefully I'll get that all smoothed out soon. Today's drink is in my Namaste in Bed with my cat mug. It is coffee laced with a little bit of coquito from my beautiful friend Julia, and it's delicious. If you want to take part in any of my read-alongs, please let me know down below because I would love to have you. I am so thankful for you guys, and I really hope that this new year will bring you nothing but good things, and may the bad things be like a stubbed toe or something and not at all what 2020 was. Let's go forth, let's keep doing the work, keep being a good global citizen. There is always links down below for you to check out on things like Black Lives Matter, what's going on in the Philippines, global issues, native issues. All of that's linked down below. If you're interested, you could also just Google it. With all of that being said, all the best coffee, wine, and books to you. Cheers.